Nothing I see means anything. The reason this is so is that I see nothing, and nothing has no meaning. It is necessary that I recognize this, that I may learn to see. What I think I see now is taking the place of vision. I must let it go by realizing it has no meaning, so that vision may take its place. I have given what I see all the meaning it has for me. I have judged everything I look upon, and it is this and only this I see. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. It is merely an illusion of reality because my judgments have been made quite apart from reality. I am willing to recognize the lack of validity in my judgments because I want to see. My judgments have hurt me, and I do not want to see according to them. I do not understand anything I see. How could I understand what I see when I have judged it amiss? What I see is the projection of my own errors of thought. I do not understand what I see because it is not understandable. There is no sense in trying to understand it, but there is every reason to let it go and make room for what can be seen and understood and loved. I can exchange what I see now for this merely by being willing to do so. Is not this a better choice than the one I made before? These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. My real thoughts are the thoughts I think with God. I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. Should I keep going?
Yes. And could you go back and read, just catch the sixth sentence for me?
Read which one?
Start at the sixth sentence. Does that make sense?
Mine doesn't have them numbered. I'll just read it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. I just need to hear something.
These thoughts do not mean anything. The thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything because I am trying to think without God. What I call my thoughts are not my real thoughts. My real thoughts I am not aware of them because I have made my thoughts to take their place. I am willing to recognize that my thoughts do not mean anything and to let them go. I choose to have them be replaced by what they were intended to replace. My thoughts are meaningless, but all creation lies in the thoughts I think with God. I'll do one more. I am never upset for the reason I think. I am never upset for the reason I think because I am constantly trying to justify my thoughts. I am constantly trying to make them true. I make all things my enemies so that my anger is justified and my attacks are warranted. I have not realized how much I have misused everything I see by assigning this role to it. I have done this to defend a thought system that has hurt me and that I no longer want. I am willing to let it go.
Hey, Viviana. Hey, Jennifer. I saw you for a second.
Hi, can you hear me?
Now I can, yes. I couldn't hear you or see you before. I saw you for a second. Now I hear you and I see something, but
can you see me at all? No, I can't see myself.
Yeah, you're in.
I know. This is my problem with my computer.
We'll make do.
I might try with my phone.
Okay. Whatever you feel to do. You're cool. Happy that you made it.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I told
welcome.
you I'll spend the whole time. Ego does this to me, I guess.
Good sign. Good sign.
But, okay. I'll let you guys, I'll try to fiddle with it a little bit and let you
All
guys
right,
continue.
all
I'm
right,
sorry.
all right. Never defeated. Viviana, did you get the book?
I did. Thank
Because
you.
I forgot to put your name on it. I was like,
No, thank you.
oh, good. Cool.
What a sweet surprise.
Cool. I'm happy that you received it. I'll read a couple and then you'll be ready to jump in.
Yes.
I'll just read a couple because I really need to. I really need to. I am upset because I see what is not there. Reality is never frightening. Reality is never frightening. It is impossible that it could upset me. Reality brings only perfect peace. When I am upset, it is always because I have replaced reality with illusions I made up. The illusions are upsetting because I have given them reality and thus regard reality as an illusion. Nothing in God's creation is affected in any way by this confusion of mine. I am always upset by nothing. I see only the past. As I look about, I condemn the world I look upon. I call this seeing. I hold the past against everyone and everything, making them my enemies. When I have forgiven myself and remembered who I am, I will bless everyone and everything I see. There will be no past and therefore no enemies. And I will look with love on all that I failed to see before. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see only my own thoughts, and my mind is preoccupied with the past. What then can I see as it is? Let me remember that I look on the past to prevent the present from dawning on my mind. Let me understand that I am trying to use time against God. Let me learn to give the past away, realizing that in so doing, I am giving up nothing. Viviana, you want to?
I see nothing as it is now. I see nothing as it is now. If I see nothing as it is now, it can truly be said that I see nothing. I can see only what is now. The choice is not whether to see the past or the present. The choice is merely whether to see or not. What I have chosen, what I have chosen to see, has caused me vision. Now I would choose again, that I may see. My thoughts do not mean anything. I have no private thoughts. Yes, it is only private thoughts of which I am aware. What can these thoughts mean? They do not exist, and so they mean nothing. Yet my mind is part of creation and part of its creator. Would I not rather join the thinking of the universe than to obscure all that is really mine with my pitiful and meaningless private thoughts? My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. What is producing this world is insane. And so it is what it produces. Reality is not insane. And I have real thoughts as well as insane ones. I can therefore see a real world if I look to my real thoughts as my guide. My guide for seeing. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there's no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that represents chaotic thinking. And chaos has no laws. I cannot live in a peace in such world. I am grateful that this world is not real and that I need not to see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear. Because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality, and I have suffered from my belief in it. Now, I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear, because I am acknowledging that it does not exist. In choosing this, I will escape all effects of the fear, of the world of fear, because I am acknowledging it is not real, that it does not exist.
Yeah, you gotta read this one.
God did not create a meaningless world.
Oh.
How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meanings. And everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts? When the perfection of creation is my home. perfection of creation is my home. Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Jennifer, how you feeling? Hey, it's the Dimple crew. You feel to read a couple? Your mic is.
There we go.
Yeah, you feel to
Can you
read a
hear me?
couple? I can now. Now I hear you.
Hi, guys. Just stoned here at home.
Whatever it
Where
takes.
are we?
We are on. We're in the review lesson. So, are you in the FIP?
I am in the big blue book.
Yeah. Okay. So page 87. I like when people give me the
Okay.
page number.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry.
No worries. We're happy that you're here. Now we can see you and hear you simultaneously. It's a miracle.
87.
Yeah,
Oh,
page,
okay.
page 87.
Yes.
And we're at 15. So the fifth lesson, the bottom, the last one on that page.
Oh, okay. Mine says it's lesson 54, number 19
Oh,
at
wow.
the bottom of my page.
Really?
Oh, I see. It's on the other side. It's my thoughts are images that I have made.
You got it. Cool.
Wait,
Just take a breath.
Okay.
And, this is.
Do you want me to read that again?
We don't think we've done yet 15. So I want you to read it. But I just want you to take a breath first.
Okay.
And just let it in. This is a transmission from our brother Christ, and we kind of can read this. Brother says like reading a magazine at the airport. Easy to do that. But this is a transmission and it's an opportunity to hear yourself say these words to yourself. So let it in.
Whatever I see. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Can you hear me? Oh boy.
No.
Oh, you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts. And I'm not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him because it is not my will that they do so. My will is his, and I will place no other gods before him.
Lovely. Thank you. Keep going.
Want me to keep going?
Would you please?
Yes. Number 16. I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one. But thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are. I see no neutral things. What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist, because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change. And so I know the world I see can change as well.
Do another one. It's really beautiful. Thank you.
You want me to keep going?
I would, yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thought in them. And the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their sight as well as mine.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Anna, you feel to read a few?
Yeah. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe. A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain. He cannot be alone in anything. He cannot be alone in any. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine. For mine is the power of God. I am determined to see. I am determined to see. Recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts, I am determined to see. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear, laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it teach me that my will and the will of God are one. I am determined to see things differently. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me, rather than those which show me an illusion of myself.
Oh.
What I see is a form of vengeance. What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It is my own attack thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have. I can't escape from this world by giving up thoughts.
Oh.
I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy. And it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now.
I'll do a couple. I do not perceive. I do not perceive my own best interests. How could I recognize my own best interests when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests would merely bind me closer to the world of illusions. I am willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself. I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real. It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everyone and everything. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose I have given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it. One more. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? Pain, illness, loss, age, and death seem to threaten me. All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control. Yet, perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. I have tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see, but God has kept my inheritance safe for me. My own real thoughts will teach me what it is. Oh, Viviana, would you like to? Oh.
Above all else, I want to see recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am. I realize that vision is my greatest need. The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go. As it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love. Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place and guarantees its continuance. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be open for me. That I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God. God is in everything I see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I have drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will. United with the will of God, the will of my Father. God is still everywhere and in everything forever. And we who are part of him will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all. God is in everything I see, because God is in my mind, in my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack, is the knowledge that all is one. All is one forever. I have not lost knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept from me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts. And I, who am among them, am one with them, and one with him. I am not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of the world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last.
Oh. Thank you, Viviana. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Heidi. Oh, hey, brother.
There you are. I've just been having a bit of Wi-Fi difficulty.
I know. I was like, ooh, what's happening? It's all good though.
It was turned off.
I chum. Turned off.
At the box, at the little box on the over there.
Oh, okay. Not from your provider.
No,
Okay.
I paid the bill.
You know.
What have you guys been doing? Just hanging out together?
No. Waking up.
No, you haven't been hanging out together?
We have been, but we're waking up. That's what we've been doing. We've been, waking up from the dream.
Jennifer, love to see you, Bibiana, and Heidi, and me. And who's that person with the big hair? Look at that. Seems like every time I look at your hair, it's quite.
I know. It's like a chia
like
pet.
Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah,
A
that'll
what?
be tomorrow. It's like a chia pet. Chia.
You have a different hairstyle for each day or something?
Well, no, it's usually this one or my Afro puffs. I got a little Heidi thing
Funny
going
thing
too.
about your avatar, you can just spruce it up and do whatever you want with it. It doesn't mean that it's good, What the hell, right?
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Do what you want.
Looks like your hair's got some stuff going on
If you
too.
feel guilty, forgive. What's happening, Anna? Oh, hang on, I've got a pop up. Hang on. My computer is at risk. No, go away.
Your hair's doing some stuff too.
Oh, I just got out of the shower and then I realized what I saw. I haven't done any preening.
I know. I told Jennifer that you were going to pop on early, and then I was like, "Ooh, it's not happening."
See, that's what happens when you prophecy things. You just like.
Well,
That's why Nostradamus and John spoke in riddles, so no one can prove them wrong.
Exactly.
Say a bunch of stuff and it could really be anything or maybe nothing at all. And they're like, well,
You didn't figure it out. I said it.
that's right. Leave it up to you. So
My message was a bit of a riddle, wasn't it, Jennifer? I was covering my bases.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I've been going to my book and reading and doing my lessons. And today I had 2 outreaches from Course in Miracle people out of the blue. I was like,
there you go.
Maybe I'm on to something here.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, you have a cat? Do you have a couple of cats? That's a massive cat. It's like a tiger. Oh my God, that's huge. My daughter would just go mental. So what's happening, Anna? You're looking good.
Oh. Yeah. Things have been all right. I've been sick for like 14 days now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's been fun. It's like I started to get better and then I get worse. I thought I was over it today and then I started losing my voice. So it's just been super bizarre. Really bad body aches. Can't sleep at night because my legs vibrate and my arms vibrate.
Whose legs and arms are they though? Really? Come on.
Yeah.
Right. What's the idea? I have a cold. It's like as if we're going to fall for that at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
We didn't come down in the last salvation shower. Maybe we're not the most advanced, but hey, come on. We're gonna stand here and hold you accountable for your wholeness and hold ourselves accountable in the doing of. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Good. I'm just gonna stay in the light. You stay in the light. Don't worry about your body, sick or healthy. It doesn't matter. Let the maggots be crawling out of it. They will one day, And then you'll be like, my body has maggots. What are you going to do then? Too late. Recycle. Off with the arm. What's that, Tina, that Jesus says? Better to lose one limb than your whole body falls into the maggots. Something like that. Into the fire. Better to lose an eye or something. Come on, you're my biblical go-to.
I don't know that one. That sounds like Old Testament stuff to me. Jesus said that?
No, it's Jesus.
Is it? Mm.
It is. It's Jesus.
Heidi knows it. Heidi's shaking her head. I don't know that one.
I'll just make it up. Heidi would know it. She's a good church-going little girl.
Yeah. I'm a heathen.
Did you go to Catholic church, Heidi? Were you a good Catholic girl?
No, charismatic Christian.
Ooh.
Oh my God. No wonder you're here at A Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
That's a level up from us.
Woe to you who are full, for you will hunger. I don't even know where I'm looking for this. I'm just giving it a quick red go. Take the beam out of your eye. See, there's something about your eye. Well, if you can't find it first,
That's
go
to take the beam out of your brother's eye before you take the beam out of your own eye before you take the speck out of your brother's.
Exactly. But just don't ask me to quote that word for word.
There is also the one like cut your own arm off before you cause your brother to sin, is something like that. But
that sounds.
It is something. It's something like that. But you know what? In some, you get it completely wrong. So it's like this. Something like that doesn't quite wash the silk. So we need to be. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you guys have finished the 20-minute book.
We almost got to the little turnaround. We almost got to lesson 33. We almost got there. Yeah, almost.
That's all you did.
We were heading there. Yeah, that's all we did. Yeah.
Oh, we just lost somebody.
Viviana's still here. Her camera just went off for a second.
Look, I have this is I have the what's the name Bible there, the Aramaic Bible. It's a little tricky to read. It has down the bottom the different words that are translated from Aramaic through Persian, Greek, frickin' everything else to English finally. But it has the actual translations, and I found this hibiscus flower, and it's been in there for like 30 years. I pressed it.
Oh, wow.
And I always think to myself, one day I'll read the page where I put it in, but I've never actually
Oh, do it now.
read that page. All right, I will. There we go. Why the heck not?
Make haste.
Acts of the Apostles 23. Oh, God, they're a bit dense, those apostles. I love how Peter always gets raked over the coals by Jesus. Let's build 3 temples, Jesus. And as Paul beheld their assembly, he said, "Men, my brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day." And the high priest Ananias commanded those who stood by his side to strike Paul on the mouth.
Again.
They have a tough gig. Like, you try to put yourself in the shoes of, like, we get to do this on the computer. No one can reach out and actually go whack and hit you across the face. Then Paul said to him,
Feels like it.
smite you, O you hypocrite. I'm doing my Paul voice. God shall smite you, O you hypocrite. For you sit to judge me according to the law, yet you yourself transgress the law when you command that I be smitten. And those who stood by said to him, "Do you even revile the high priest of God?" Then Paul said to them, "Brothers, I did not know that he was a high priest, for it is written, you shall not revile the ruler of your people." Now, when Paul perceived that part of the people were Sadducees and the others were Pharisees, he cried out in the assembly, "Men, my brethren, I am Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee, and it is because of the hope of the resurrection of the dead that I am here to be judged." And when he had said this, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the people were divided. For the Sadducees say there is no resurrection, neither angels nor soul, but the Pharisees confess them. Then there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were the party of the Pharisees rose up and argued, saying, "We find no fault with this man, and if a spirit or an angel has spoken to him, there is nothing wrong with that." And because there was a great disturbance among them, the chief captain, fearing they might tear Paul to pieces, sent Roman soldiers to go and seize him from among them and bring him into the castle. During the night, our Lord appeared to Paul and said, "Be strong, as you have testified concerning me at Jerusalem. Also, you are to testify at Rome." And when it was morning, certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under oath that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. And those who had sworn to this conspiracy were more than 40 persons. And they went to the priests and elders and said, "We have bound ourselves under an oath not to taste anything till we have killed Paul.
Wow.
You and the leaders of the council asked the captain to bring him to you, as though you were desirous to have a thorough investigation of his acts, and we are ready to kill him before he shall arrive here." When Paul's nephew heard this plot, he went into the castle and told Paul. Then Paul sent for and called one of the centurions. They said, "Take this young man to the captain, for he has something to tell him." So the centurion took the young man and brought him to the chief captain and said, "Paul, the prisoner, called me and begged me to bring you this young man to tell you, for he has something to tell you." Then the captain took the young man by his hand and drew him aside, and that's the end of the page.
What is
There you
that?
go. Now, it doesn't matter what it is. I've read it.
All right.
Read it, and I've done that.
All right.
It's that simple, isn't it?
Yeah. I just thought I put it in the notes. That's okay.
I know your pointy little brain wanted to do something with it, and there's nothing to do with it.
All right. Over.
What's happening, Bibiana? You're looking a little clearer today.
I'm
I like it when
responsible for what I see.
Good. I like it when you look clear. When you come in and your face is all wrinkled up with frowns and worried looks. It's like, uh-oh, I've arrived too early. Tina hasn't finished the 20-minute book.
We almost got there today.
You know, when you read that 20-minute book, those reviews of the first 50 lessons in the course, the first half, 25, 30 maybe, is the undoing.
Yeah.
That's all the ugly stuff that nobody likes, right? You don't like to look at your thoughts because it's like, I hope no one can read my mind in this group because there's some shit in there, right? And the other half is the redoing or the acquisition sight, right? Christ's vision. You guys only ever read the first half.
We almost got there. We got a few of them. We got the
Almost
the
isn't
holiness.
there. This is
almost.
a kind of an all or nothing deal.
Okay.
We almost got there. As like we nearly made it to Jerusalem.
Well, we got one. We got a couple of them. So we got one. All we need is one.
I think you're going to have to start a little earlier. It's not like you've got anything else to do in your human endeavors, have you?
Not anything. Nothing at all.
Study, be good little students, work hard, do all that.
Yeah, we got God is in everything I see. We got that far.
Did you
I
get
love that one.
Drop mic.
Sustained by
God is
love.
in everything I see.
Read the words. I am sustained by the love of God.
Oh yeah, that's 50.
That's the last one. That's the one you got to get to.
Yeah.
Even if you're on your hands and knees crawling, you got to get to that one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. God will sustain you even in your crawling.
Maybe I should start earlier then.
I think so. So anyway, what do we
come
do?
on Thursday when we do the whole thing.
You do the whole
And I
thing on a Thursday.
Yeah,
It's not
Thursday. Well,
Okay.
your
Oh
Wednesday.
yeah, my Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. All
What
right. So
number is that one at 50?
Yeah, less than
Or-
50.
Less than 50?
the reviews.
The review?
Is Jennifer cool with that? She knows about we're doing the reviews, not the actual lesson.
Oh yeah, she knows. She
Yeah.
did a few.
Good.
It's lovely.
I did a few. I am sustained by the love of God. Yes.
Good. That's it.
Yes. I'm trying to get that.
Just say yes. That's it. That you got it right the first time. You just say yes.
Yes. Yes,
What-
I am.
That's it. Exactly.
Sustained by God. Mm-hmm.
So let's do sickness because since Anna seems to be giving me the opportunity to remember that I'm not a body. Lesson 67. No, hang on. I better check. Come on, Tina, onto it.
I think 67.
7.
Lesson 76.
76. Yeah. there you
Oh,
go.
that's it. 70.
Yeah,
76.
because the other day I just went flipping through my book and that's the one that came up.
Oh, 76.
All right. 76.
Yeah.
I can't even find it. My thumbs are just. I've been out. I don't know if you can see. I have stuff all over my hands. It's like this plastic stuff. Hands are all slippery. It's like a glove. I have a permanent slippery glove. Oh, I'm under no laws. That's boring. That takes away all your crutches and everything else.
You want to do 67 or 67?
You know, the only thing they didn't include into lesson 76 was sex. Because if they did that at lesson 76, you guys would just throw the whole book in the bin and be like, oh, no, Jesus, that's not for me.
Probably in the Urtext.
Never.
What are you talking about, that sex stuff? Get out of it. Love created me like itself. Anna, listen, close your eyes. I want you to hit this for me. Ready? Hear it, totally hear it. I'm going to read it. You hear it for me. We're one mind hearing, one mind reading. It's just one mind waking up with this weird appearance of many of us with seemingly individual minds, which is not true. Okay, Heidi, listen. Today's idea is a complete and accurate statement of what you are. Love created me like itself. This is why you are the light of the world. This is why God appointed you as the world's savior. This is why the Son of God looks to you for his salvation. He is saved by what you are. We will make every effort today to reach this truth about you and to realize fully, if only for a moment, that it is the truth. In the longer practice period, we will think about your reality and its wholly unchanged and unchangeable nature. We will begin by repeating this truth about you and then spend a few minutes adding some relevant thoughts such as, Anna, holiness created me whole. Kindness created me kind. Helpfulness created me helpful. And perfection created me perfect. Any attribute which is in accord with God as he defines himself is appropriate for use. We're trying today to undo your definition of God and replace it with his own. Right, so we're not going to use God created me sick. Anything, get it? We're not going to do that. We're also trying to emphasize that you are part of his definition of himself. After you have gone over several such related thoughts, try to let all thoughts drop away for a brief preparatory interval. And then try to reach past all your images and preconceptions about yourself to the truth in you. If love created you like itself, this self must be in you. And somewhere in your mind, it is there for you to find. You may find it necessary to repeat the idea for today from time to time to replace distracting thoughts, Anna. You may also find that this is not sufficient and that you need to continue adding other thoughts related to the truth about yourself. Yet perhaps you will succeed in going past that and through the interval of thoughtlessness to the awareness of a blazing light in which you recognize yourself as love created you. Be confident that you will do much today to bring that awareness nearer, whether you feel you have succeeded or not. It will be particularly helpful today to practice the idea for today as often as you can. You need to hear the truth about yourself as frequently as possible because your mind is so preoccupied with false self-images. 4 or 5 times an hour, and perhaps even more, it would be most beneficial to remind yourself that love created you like itself. Hear the truth about yourself in this. Try to realize in the shorter practice periods that this is not your tiny solitary voice that tells you this. This is the voice for God, reminding you of your Father and of yourself. This is the voice of truth, replacing everything that the ego tells you about yourself with the simple truth about the Son of God. You were created by love like itself. Anna, stand up. Put your hand on your heart. Repeat after me. I was created by love like itself.
I was created by love like itself.
Bullshit, I don't believe you. Say it again. Feel it.
I was created by love like itself.
Keep saying it. You're only on the surface. You gotta go in where it is that you believe you're sick. You ready? Yeah, right there. That's it. No surface dwelling here. Feel the words as you speak them. Let them in. They resonate somewhere in you because they are the truth. Feel it. I was created by love, like itself. Right there. That's it. Go on.
I was created by love like itself.
Good. That's better. One more. Just for the record books.
I was created by love like itself.
Good. Do you feel it? Do you feel a connection with those words?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
No.
Say, yes, I am. You know, when you truly mean those words, you'll just burst into tears, like literally you will. Something will happen in your heart and in your mind together, and you'll just have like this, people looking on from outside would say you're having a meltdown. It's not true. You're having a melt up actually, but it's like, it's so hard, right? It's so difficult when you read this course, right? I talk about this all the time. You know, when you go to listen to a speech or something and someone's talking or anything, those TED Talks or whatever, and it's like people are talking and your mind like drifts in and out and you hear a bit and, oh, I know about that. And you focus for like 5 seconds, which is about the attention span of a typical human being. And then boop, and you're off again. And there's a whole other world of things you're thinking about. It's like, even in between your thoughts, there are thoughts. Even while you're saying the words of that declaration, your mind is already thinking other things for you to say next, so that there is no gap, so that there is no space for the truth to be present in what it is that you're saying, which is why we have this mind training, so we can slow the mind down partly through that repetitive process of like the mantra kind of style teachings that he uses in the last lessons in the book, and through the actions of forgiveness in the earlier lessons, right? And the mind becomes quieter and more still, and you start to realize that there is this teeny tiny little gap between your thoughts. One doesn't follow the other one seamlessly. They're joined somewhere like an oddly assorted procession going by, like a train. And there's this joining thing, which looks like a little gap, but it's not really a gap. That's where the light gets in. You know, when you were a kid, you had to go to bed and you could see the light under the door and your parents were out there talking, and you knew that while you could see the light, they were still there out there talking, and you're wondering what's going on, the whole thing. And all you wanted to do was to be able to get down and look under that crack under the door and see if anyone was out there or what was going on and anything. But you couldn't. You could never get your eyeball right down to the bottom of the door and look up. All you could see was shadows, right? It's the same thing going on in your mind. You can't look between that gap between your thoughts, because you're the one that's put in play the whole preposition that there is no gap, that there's nothing there, right? Which is why this is going to take a miracle. Which is why it takes mind training, coming together, and all of these things going on, so that finally when you're doing your deep, deep meditation and you're trying to really feel into your meditation, not just sit there like some blob on a cushion, you're trying to feel deep and listen into your feeling, right? Or feel into your listening deep, and you find that place. And all of a sudden, there's this kind of whoosh, a little whoosh feeling, and you feel it in your consciousness. It's like I don't even know how to talk about it, like an elastic something, like a wind, and it just goes. And then immediately the mind jumps to it, the ego mind or residual mind jumps to it and goes, What's that? And as soon as you examine it, of course, it stops, right? Which is why you're training your mind to not examine, not judge, not do all of these things that it's traditionally been taught to do, right? And you're teaching it now according to Jesus's curriculum, so that when something starts to happen in your consciousness and you start to realize you're not alone in there, you'll be just like, hey, all good. You won't be like, what was that? Like as if it's something unnatural or weird or whatever, right? Your energetic signature has to match the energetic signature on the other side of the portal, right? You come up against that, what would you call it? That threshold, the glass ceiling of consciousness, right there, and you can't see the ceiling, right? You can't see, you can see through it, but you don't know what you keep bumping your head against. It's like this idea of limitation, right? And the Holy Spirit's on the other side. The Holy Spirit knows exactly what's going on. It's like, and it's just like that call, come on, you can do this, keep coming. And then in the moment where you touch up against the glass, the mind goes, what is this? What is this glass, right? And it's just like a door. And then as soon as you touch on it, the Holy Spirit opens it and you go through. Right? That's a very simplistic kind of analogy, but it's like when you're trying to talk about things that occur in your mind that aren't regular conscious thoughts, it's like there are no language for that. There's no, you can't just go to the library and, you know, it's like, this is it. We're writing that language. We're doing it right now. We're putting into play the conscious recognition that there is something beyond, just on the other side of our consciousness, just on the other side of what we think the limit of our consciousness is, right? Maharishi used to talk about it as you have to sit in the question of what am I, and then don't answer it for yourself, right? You would sit there, sit in the what it is that I am, or what am I want to know what I am. And you would refuse to answer and you refuse to adjust, and you just literally just sit in that place like Jesus in the desert, 40 days and nights in that circle. And you sit there and you refuse to adjust. And every crazy bullshit thing goes through your head, right? And you refuse to acknowledge any of it. You just refuse to acknowledge any of it because you're there for an experience, not a concept. You don't want your own thoughts to tell you what it is that you are. You want an experience of it. Right? Now, the ego can't give you that experience. It can give you all sorts of phenomena and all sorts of things like that, because, I mean, there's a whole world of spiritual things running around trying to manifest things in their life. God knows why, because it's already there. Like, what are you going to fucking manifest? I want to manifest more wealth, a better lover. I'm a co-creator. Watch me do it. All you got to do is acknowledge that you're a lousy lover, and then the next thing that happens, you know, or a pauper. So that point, Anna, when I say to you, stand up and put your hand on your heart and try to feel it, right? There's a sense. We call it a feeling, but there's a sense. Like it's like a sixth sense, right? If you want to talk about it as a sixth sense, you can. I don't like to give any of this stuff a name, but when you're talking just loosely about it, it helps as a kind of a reference. But really, there's not really any name for it, like energy or light or whatever. But there's a sixth sense that you connect with within yourself in exactly the same way that, let's say, like Native American people, before white people came and everything, they lived according to nature, right? They were guided by the spirit and all this sort of stuff, but they had a very, very strong bond with nature. If a bird suddenly took off from a tree in the forest, that would mean something to them, right? If the ripples on a pond were blowing in a certain direction, that would mean something to them. Everything was about survival, right? Not just themselves, but the whole tribe, the whole thing. They would feel it in their bones, in their water. When the weather was changing, we have to use a, what do you call those things? A thermometer and a barometer. We have to get a barometer, and we go, my grandmother used to, like, God bless her soul, used to go over every day. When she got home from work, she'd go home every day and look at the barometer. It was this big brass shiny thing with a glass, and she'd clean it and she'd look at it and she'd go, it's going to rain. And that's how she would know. But Native American people would just know. They'd smell it in the air, or they'd feel it, or the birds would give them a signal. They'd just, there's this whole connectedness that they sort of operated within that was spiritual in a sense of the guidance they were receiving and what was being handed down and everything else like that, and also a natural thing that was very functional, right? So when I say to you, Anna, listen and try to feel and let it in, that's what I'm trying to get to you, is to get a sense of, right? We've become conditioned to being told how to think, what things are. This is hard, this is soft, I like this, I don't like that. All of these things, and our mind focuses on the conditioning, right? But a sixth sense of things, if you want to call it that, or a higher sense of things, doesn't have any conditioning. There's no condition. You can't be told about it. I'm trying to tell you about it, but I can't tell you about it. I'm telling you that I can't tell you about it. All I can do is allude to it and leave you there to sort of wonder what the hell I'm talking about and make your own experimentation with it, right? That's kind of how this works. You get to the very, very edge of what you're capable of comprehending, and it's like, and from there, it's up to you. It's like, was it Rumi? I can only show you the door, but you have to take that step, sort of thing. So when you read and when you hear, because as you teach, you learn, you want to hear what it is that you're putting out, right? So I want to hear that I need to listen on a deeper level. I want to hear that I need to listen in a sense of feeling the vibration of the words, feeling what the words are as they resonate to me, not the words themselves. They're just symbols, right? The only reason Jesus uses symbols and not bolts of lightning from the sky is because I've become accustomed to symbols, and bolts of lightning I would run away from, right? But it's the same thing. When you have a bolt of lightning suddenly explode across the threshold of your consciousness, you'll be like, holy crap, what's going on in there? They have this thing in hospital now where they can measure people who have fits. What's that called? That when you have a fit, something, and not when people pass out, and they're like on the floor.
Seizure?
Yeah, like there's a thing though. It's like a whole thing they've put into. Anyway, so they've worked out that what happens is in the mind when these, because they can hook you up with all these wires, right? That you have actual electricity. Your body is a conductor and runs electricity and the whole thing through it, right? If you could plug a human being into a thing, and I went to SeaWorld and did this. I'll tell you that story in a second, but it's interesting. So they hooked people up that were having these epileptic fits, and they were getting spikes in the electrical conductivity of all the synapses and whatever it is in the brain, all that gooey stuff. They were getting random spikes of stuff, and they worked out that things like flashing lights and whatever was triggering it, right, which are a response. Now, the funny thing is, when I'm driving around at night and I have a car come towards me with really bright headlights, I'll get a flash of light in my consciousness, but I know what it is, so I'm not too concerned about it, right? But it's interesting that it's triggered externally. But so they've worked it out that the light in your mind is an actual thing. Right now, when you think about your brain, it's just this grey blob or white blob or whatever it is. And when you think about your mind, it tends to be more of an ethereal kind of like effulgence of something. God, you can't even, how does it even? But when you come up against that level of consciousness, right now, all of the physical nature of life is the domain of ego, right, which is the level of consciousness. When you come up against that limit, you start to tap into other kinds of experiences that are witnessed to within consciousness, but don't originate from there, right? One of those Jesus calls the miracle level. Now, one of the things, this is where you confront your fear, right? One of the things in the course is to expose your fears, expose your blocks and heal it and all of that sort of stuff. They're put in place specifically so you don't have to feel, don't have to reach that outer limit of consciousness. It keeps you within a narrow band of the human experience where you can be kind of normal and feel autonomous, and you never slip too far down the rabbit hole one way, and yet you're never too crazy, you know, like running around, woohoo, I've seen God the other way, and you fit in, right? You have a reasonable, normal human experience within the parameters of what it is you've chosen. When you start to do spiritual work, those parameters begin to expand both directions. You'll find greater moments of depression and anxiety and all of those other things, and greater moments of joy and happiness and release on the other hand, right? The tendency for the errant consciousness is to want to value one more than the other, right? In your case, Anna, to want to value health more than sickness, okay? And perpetuate the story of the body thereby, okay? Now, it's a bitter pill to swallow that you've chosen to be sick as an idea of self-identity, right? But it's no different than I've chosen to be healthy, okay? It's still self-identity. It's still false. You're not a body. You're the spirit, okay? All of the blocks in you that keep that way of thinking of sickness and health and better and worse and everything, all of those things there, that's all got to go. You've got to let go of all of it. And the only way you're going to do that is through an act of faith. You're not going to do it by thinking about it. You're not going to do it by trying to work it out, right? It doesn't matter how many Zoom sessions you go to, how many Course in Miracles lessons you read. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. At some point, you've got to feel the call. Hand on the heart, I feel this in me somewhere. Otherwise, you're just sitting here like this kind of in the middle kind of consciousness, listening to my words over and over and over, and not ever actually activating yourself enough to make those words truly useful to you. This isn't about learning A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles has nothing to do with salvation. Zero. It's a tool that you use to attain salvation, but it's not salvation itself. It's like stairs in your house. The stairs are there to get you to the top level of the house. The stairs aren't there so you can stand on the stairs. They're there to be used. This has to be felt. You've got to feel the call. You've got to like really put yourself outside of the box, out of the comfort zone, or you're going to get more sick. You got to break the ritual, break the routine, step out, let something happen that's out of your control so that you can become fully dependent on God just for a moment, so that something else can occur in your life that's not of your own making. Okay, and that's not just you. I'm just picking on you because, you know, you gave me that nice little speech about how you're sick and your legs hurt. And that was well rehearsed. I like it. There's an Oscar for you. But it's the same for everybody. It's the same thing. All learning implies change. Okay. Now, you have a physical reality or a seeming physical reality, illusory as it is, as well as a mental one or a spiritual one in here, right? Mind and spirit, it's the same thing. One's the Latin and the other one's the Greek, right? So you have a physical reality and a spiritual reality. The one inside makes the one outside, projects out onto it all the meaning that you've given it, and therefore you react to it accordingly, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes, right? That's no good knowing that unless you're going to change something about it. Right? What's the point in knowing that there is no world conceptually? Because salvation is freedom from concepts. salvation is there is no world. Now try to look at everything you believe about yourself backed against that as a backdrop. There is no world. Now what are you going to tell me, Anna? There is no world. Who is there that is sick? Right? Now, in that place where you have Jesus's affirmation to you, there is no world on the one hand, and your determination that, oh, I'm sick, my legs hurt, on the other hand, make a choice. You've already chosen for the sick one. That's obvious, right? Now, choose again. Which one are you going to choose? I'm either going to follow Jesus, give up the world and follow me, or I'm going to cling to my old identity of I'm sick, I'm Anna, I'm this body, and maintain the cycles of cause and effect relationship that keep me in that false identity. Right? That all has to go. If you're sitting there honestly telling me I want salvation, right? It's impossible for you to be sick because you're not that. Salvation is simply a shift in identity. That's all it is. Do I want salvation now, or do I think that it's going to happen to me in 10 years' time? It's now. It's not when I recover from COVID or when I get better from whatever or when my legs don't hurt and all these sorts of things. It's now. I choose now, Lord. This is the moment that I have. This is the moment I'm alive. This is my moment to be happy, to be joyous, to be peaceful, to be passionate, to be... Choose. Hand on the heart, make the choice. You've got to feel that choice. As soon as you turn this Zoom meeting off and you go back out into the world's going to start immediately telling you that you're Anna again. Okay? I've got this small little Zoom window of opportunity to drive a beam of light so deep in you that you're not going to forget it. And it's going to stand as a witness to everything for you when you go back out into the world and it wants to tell you that you're not a spirit, that you are the flesh, and that you're doomed to die like everything else. Right? When you read those lessons in that book that Jesus sent you, he has that tiny bit of willingness from you to read even those lessons in which to push so hard into your consciousness that the hope of the light getting in will occur. Does that make sense? But you've got to want it. It's like you got to meet him halfway. You got to be willing to go, yep, whatever it takes, Lord, I'm here. The Holy Spirit knows how much you can handle. The Holy Spirit knows what you can take. Right? You'll never get more than you can manage. It'll take you right to the edge, but you'll never get more than you can manage. Right, exactly. It's funny stuff, isn't it? Our ideas of what being spiritual are and what spirituality actually is quite often two different things. I like it when you're crying. I like it when you're miserable. I like it when you're right down in the dark, shitty corners of your mind and you're whinging about it. That's an honest place. When you're standing on the street corner chanting Hare Krishna, it's like, get out of my way, will you? Just like, there's nothing going on there. It's like, let's get to the bottom. Let's just get it done, because how long do we want to be sitting in Zoom meetings on a nice Saturday like this, really? We could be out there doing our sunbeam dance, you know. I can imagine Heidi doing that. Jesus wants me for a sunbeam, a sunbeam. Did you do that in your energetic Christian church?
Yeah, I've done enough of that. Thank you.
No, I can just see you doing it. You would have been right up the front with your little tip-tap shoes on. It's crazy, isn't it? It's just crazy stuff. The old good Anna. Choosing again there. All right. I'm not going to let you off the hook, you know. If I let you off the hook, I'll let me off the hook. It's a big ass hook, luckily. We're all sort of stuck on that hook. You know those shepherds and they have that pole with the crook? I'm thinking that's what it's called. Jesus has one of those and it's like you're in there. And it's kind of like, that's tight on my ribs, Jesus. I can feel you pulling me.
Like Showtime at the Apollo.
Right, exactly. Exactly. What's that guy? What's that guy?
Sandman. He comes out. Like when you get pulled off, he comes out, tapped in.
Yeah, and the big thing comes out and goes, whoop. I think Monty Python do a skit like that too.
Oh, I gotta see them do that. It's funny.
I think it's Monty Python, or it might be Kenny Everett, actually. We'll have to ask the English people tomorrow because that's all English stuff.
I don't know who that is. Sandman.
All right, let's do some stuff. Anna, did I tell you to sit down? No, stand up again. Let's have it. Come on. This is your heart and soul for this one. You ready? Sit up straight, everybody. Let's do this. Close your eyes. Anna, you stand up straight. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. I'm going to give you an image. And I want you to focus on it as intently as you can. It's not going to be a nice image. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the image. It's one that used to trigger me a lot and used to take me to horrible places. I didn't know what to do in those horrible places. I didn't have Jesus back then. But now I go to those horrible places and the Holy Spirit goes with me and shines the light there. And those images are dispelled. The image is a man of about 80 years old, my grandfather, 85 maybe, on his hospital bed the day before he passed. Just suffered a massive stroke. He was a man who'd given his whole life to making people happy. After the war, close your eyes, Jennifer. After the war, he started a greyhound track so the returning vets would have some normal life. He started an ice cream factory so that children would have ice cream. And his whole life began along a path of service to others in a way that supported his family, but was also something that gave people enjoyment above and beyond the misery of their lives. And he laid in that hospital bed a shell of his former joyous, jubilant, incredibly happy self, unable to speak, dribbling out of his mouth, hooked up to machines, stinking like shit. And it was the most undignified end for an incredibly passionate and caring person. Feel it. Try to get a sense. Everybody knows somebody like that. When Robin Williams took his life, so many people around the world lost a role model and an example of how kind and loving the human heart can be. Feel it. Let it take you where it needs to go. Don't defend yourself against any pain or loss or sorrow. Anna, feel. Let yourself go as deep as you can. Don't be distracted by other thoughts. The one thing that we do in this world is adjust to our pain again and again and again, so we don't have to feel bad, because we know that we can't do a damn thing about it when we feel bad. But now we have a true purpose. Now we're like miners. We're going down that rabbit hole. We're looking for our pain. We're trying to get in touch with it. We're trying to see our fearful premises so that we can offer them to God for healing. We're excavators. We're adventurers. We're on a journey into fear. We love it when we feel good, but that's only the yin of when we feel bad. Good and bad cycle round and round together in the human experience, and we try to stay on side with one to avoid the other, limiting ourselves to only half of our human experience. Your emotions can't hurt you. There's no need for you to react to them, but there is a need for you to find them and feel them and see where they lead. Because if this world can affect you in any way, if my words can affect you in any way, there is still healing to be done. Breathe. Take a deep breath. Let yourself feel the pain. It's a gift. When you think you're at the bottom, when you think you can't take it anymore, offer it to God. Here, Father, take this from me. I made this. I would have love instead of this. I'm not a body. I'm free. I'm still as you created me. The world cannot tell me what I am. The images, the stories, the dramas, the good or the bad, cannot tell me what I am. Let me be free of all of this stuff. I'm willing to give you my pain. I'm willing to give you also my joy. In the realization, I don't know what either one of them are. I would have only the love that you would have me have, and nothing else. Feel, Anna, go deeper. Feel, let it happen. Don't try to limit it. The Holy Spirit goes with you into the deepest, darkest places, into the hidden places, the coveted places. This is a time to accept forgiveness. I have done this, and it is this I would undo. Through God's forgiveness, I'm willing to accept the miracle. Good. Feel. When you leave this Zoom meeting today, the world is going to try to convince you not to feel anything, just to comply, just to adjust. The world is going to try to convince you that you are a body and that you are here to do what other bodies are here to do. That's not true. You're on a journey of the soul. You are on a journey of the soul. You are here to improve the record of your journey. You're here to accept atonement for yourself, salvation for yourself. It's time to leave the third dimension. It's time to awaken from the dream of death and proceed onward in the journey of the soul. All of the painful attachments and all of the joyous attachments to this world that you harbor in the darkness of your mind have to be released. You can take no souvenirs. Breathe. Good. Offer it to God. Father, this pain, take it from me. Feel the prayer in your heart. More than anything, I want healing. Feel it in your heart. Here I am, Lord. Here I am at the altar. I put my whole self on this altar. My whole self, with all its lumps and bumps, with all its secrets and devious nature, with all its ugly thoughts and all of its beautiful ones. This is the self I have made. I'm done with it now. I choose to move on, to accept what it is that I am in truth. Breathe. Ah. Woohoo. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel. You are that person. You are Robin Williams. You are my grandfather. You are all of those role models in your lives who have gone before you, who have wanted to make the world a better place just for a moment, to bring a smile and to bring joy and happiness. That's you. Include that in. In each of us is the light. In each of us is the power of good, is the power of kindness. In each of us is the power of salvation. Don't hide your light under a bushel. Anna, let it shine. Let it shine. Let them throw tomatoes. Let them shout you down. Let them say whatever they want to say. Do not compromise. Do not hide your light for anything or anyone. If they don't want to accept you, pack your bags, move on. When you go to a new city, if they won't accept you, dust off your sandals, move on. I can't emphasize enough the joy and the power and the incredible witness that come from getting out of a comfort zone, getting out of a rut. Good. When I first started to believe in Jesus properly, when I first started to read the Sermon on the Mount, because my life was such a mess, I had nothing else. I was about 27 or 28 years of age. And I knew I had to do something to validate to myself the integrity that I couldn't find within my heart of my wish for Jesus to be part of my life. I didn't want to go to my local church. I knew church-going people and they were all nice people, but I didn't want to go there and be told that just because I was going to church that Jesus was my salvation now. I wanted to know it. I wanted to have my own Jesus thing happen. I wanted to meet Jesus and the whole, and it wouldn't have mattered if it was Krishna or Buddha or any of those, any non-temporal association. I don't really care, but for me, it just happened to be Jesus. And I went and spent the night up on a mountain alone in the freezing cold. I didn't know it was going to be freezing cold up there. I climbed up to the top of Mount Warning. And when I got to the top, it started raining. I had no rain clothes. The temperature plummeted to freezing temperature, and I thought I might die from hypothermia. And I said my prayers up there. It was too dark to find my way back down the mountain. I said my prayers, and I asked to know Jesus. And in the morning, as the sun rose, I had an experience of meeting with Jesus. I won't go through the whole story. It's quite a long story. I think I've told you before. And I knew in that moment everything was okay. I knew in that moment when he spoke to me that everything was fine. There was nothing to worry about. That he was in charge. And that he knew about me. That I wasn't lost in the world, left to my own devices to stumble in and out of one bad scenario after another. That I wasn't hopeless and useless, as I've been told my whole life. I knew that there was more. I also knew that I was just at the beginning of understanding what that was, but I knew that there was more. And I knew that all I had to do was hold his hand and not let go. I can't remember if I've ever been tempted to let go, but I remember making a decision that I wouldn't let go. And he said to me, go wherever you want, do whatever you want, just never let go of my hand. And I knew I didn't have to worry. Anna, have the courage to do what you know you need to do. Have the courage to do it. can't serve two masters. Good. All right, that's it. Just a short one today. I hope that's helpful. I've got 3 teenage girls here that I have to get back to their parents.
I want to drop that, where you tell the story. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, do that.
So I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Amazing you can remember where these things all are.
I know, isn't it? It's a miracle.
It is an incredible, that's an incredible story, really, the full story. Did I tell the full story in that? Yeah.
You told it. Yeah, it was beautiful. I did a couple of like 30-second clips of it. Yeah, it was really. But
It's
that's
so
the link.
freaking biblical, isn't it? That
Yeah.
story's. I look
Yeah.
back on that story now, and it's as if it happened to somebody else, that I read it in the Bible or something, but it's not. It's, you know, it's literally go climb a freaking mountain.
I hope I have the right link. I'm pretty sure I do. If not, then I'll get it to you guys. Yeah, it's really powerful. It's where you say, I'm about my Father's business, and my Father's business is love.
Right. It's true. My Father's business is love. You know, if you opened a love shop in the main street, people would come in there looking for sex toys. It's like, that's what we've made of it. You know? There'd just be some crazy people in there laughing. Anna, you can be the manager. Job that you like. All right, peace. I'm going to get in my soccer dad car and take these kids home.
Cool.
They're being very, actually, I should be concerned, I think.
All right, so we're ending.
Bye.
Before you guys go, make sure you check out all the videos at that Lotus Chick. All the videos are there, and be sure to, click a little like on this. And if somehow you found
That's
value,
what you were telling me you were going to do.
Yeah, if somehow
like,
you found some value,
thing.
yes, like, subscribe, share, and if you found any value,
Ideas are increased by sharing.
And if you found any value, it would be really beautiful to share a little comment, even if it's just a heart.
Absolutely. Shout it from the rooftops.
There you go. Keep your story short, your miracles. Shout it from the rooftops.
That's it.
Thank you.
Love to your hearts, from my heart to yours.
So happy that you showed up and showed out. So
I know. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks, Dave.
I'll add you to the chat, okay? If you can, if you want, let me know. Send me a message.
Okay.
All right, love.
Do I like, what am I supposed to like on this?
So you got the little link for that video, right? Okay, so if you have it, then it's going to take you right to the YouTube channel, and these videos get uploaded. So you go through the videos, and the one that he was mentioning in this video is really.
Okay.
Story is beautiful. But this one's going to go up too. What's that?
I've seen his YouTube channel, but I haven't gone to it yet.
It's a different one, actually. It's not his YouTube channel. It's another one where all of these get posted.
Okay.
So
we
haven't been able to get them on that channel yet, but that's coming up soon.
Oh, okay.
But it's helpful to spread the word to,
Okay.
And let me know if you want to be. It's Tina. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure.
And let me know if you want to be added to the chat, okay? So you send me a message.
Yes.
All right.
I will. I do. I think that this was kind of like really important for me for some reason. So I'm kind of like right where Anna is, I think, a little bit. So I think we all are.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it would be lovely if you if you feel it in your heart to come. So I'll add you to the chat and do with whatever that, do with that what you will. But it's really beautiful that you were here, and it's not by accident. So.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good night. I don't. I'm
Dimple
super tired. It's like
Crew. Dimple Crew. No, I'm in California.
yeah, I'm in Texas, so it's 10:15, so I'm pretty tired.
Yeah. So lay her
Okay,
down. Lay her down. All right. Love you, sis.
Mhm.
Mwah.